I assume you all know that the height of a horse is measured in hands and not feet. But do you know why a horse is measured in hands? Stay with me for the next few minutes and I'll explain everything. My name is Nick Knackery and I'd like to talk to you about the metric system. Now, I love the metric system very much, and I can't understand why people want to cling to the old-fashioned and outdated system of avoirdupois weights and imperial measurements, such as rods, poles, perches, links and chains. I find the imperial system of measurements highly elitist. And I find the metric system socialist because everyone uses the same units, metres or kilos. If you don't believe me, ask a sailor. Until recently, sailors measure the depth of water in fathoms and not metres. Why? I'll tell you why. So nobody outside their industry could understand what the depth was. Only sailors use fathoms, no one else used them. Take the diamond industry. Why do they weigh in carats and not grams? Because it's elitist. They want to stick to their own unique measurements, so that all outsiders haven't a clue what they're on about. A few years ago, I visited Exeter Cathedral, and I discovered that a long time ago, sand, glass and lead were all bought and sold in different weights. Every trade used its own system. Each trade had its own way of doing things. So let's say you're trying to weigh something and then you want to halve it. Try dividing pounds and ounces in your head. Isn't halving the number of grams much easier? No fractions, one number. I once owned a catalogue of drill bits. Don't ask why, because I won't tell you. Anyway, it had really tiny size on it and went all the way up to about 40mm or more. If you looked at the imperial size drill bits, there was one size I'll never forget. It was 63/64 of an inch. That's 1/64 of an inch smaller than an inch. I find all that rather complicated, don't you? You see, I just like things to be simple. And while I think about it, why is crude oil measured in barrels and not litres or tonnes? And why is the capacity of an oil tanker measured in tonnes and not barrels? And why is one barrel of beer 36 gallons, but one barrel of oil is 35 gallons or 42 US gallons? It's all complete madness. If you don't believe me, look up a good encyclopedia. And the ton. There's the short ton, the long ton, the displacement ton, the gross ton and the freight ton. But unless you work in the shipping industry, I wouldn't start panicking just yet. And as far as horses' hands go, I don't even want to discuss it. Suffice to say that the elite have chosen 4 inches for their unit of measurement. They should all be locked up. Take temperature. I want water to freeze at 0 and boil at 100. Whoever thought of 32 for the freezing point of water and 212 for the boiling point of water? What's that all about? And in Britain, which makes me very angry, the weather forecasters still go on about Fahrenheit. On television you'll hear them say, oh, it's going to be very cold tonight. It's going down to 0 Celsius. That's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not interested in Fahrenheit. I'm only interested in Celsius. And I certainly don't have to be told 2 different scales in the same sentence. Board. Pints or litres, it's entirely up to you. Thank you for watching that. Now, if you don't believe my theory about the metric system, then please read George Orwell. In his essay, The Lion and the Unicorn, he says this about the English: a spelling system that defies analysis, and a system of weights and measures that is intelligible only to the compilers of arithmetic books. So there.